So I asked some close friends of mine, what do they think that I bring to them, benefit to them, or what are some things that if I could teach them something, what would it be? And one of the things that they all said is, you tell a really good story. I would love to be able to know how you're able to kind of create the scene, so to speak, so that they really feel like they're there. And I've always said, in terms of marketing, but in terms of getting your message across, whether it's to your children, to people that follow you, your tribe, your lifers, is that you need to tell a really good story. It needs to be compelling, it needs to be believable. And let me run through with you one of the ways that I think that anybody can be a good storyteller. And I think that one way is to be present in wherever you are. So many people, they walk around and it's like habit. They're not really present in the moment. They're thinking about dinner tonight. They're thinking about other things. They're stressed about what somebody did to them, or they're worried about something in the future. You need to be present in the here and now, and there's a way to practice that. The way to practice that is to try and picture the scene that you're in and try and just remember it. Start looking at things. Start looking at any distinguishing features of what somebody's wearing, words that are maybe unique that you might be able to remember. I'm going to run through with you an exercise that I do, and I write it down after I'm in a scene. And that practice, it's just like anything else, it has to do with memory. So I walked into Starbucks, actually, so I'm driving up into Starbucks, and I noticed that there's cars parked on the side. There's 4 cars that are waiting in the drive-thru, and I'm like, man, this is really busy. How long is it going to take for me? I really have to pee, and I would like some coffee, and but I got to get back home to Bedford, or back to Brooke's parents' place in Bedford. And I see a car two people starting to get into a white BMW 328xi with I see the signal that says X-Drive. The Asian gentleman gets in the passenger seat, and she, the wife or girlfriend or whatever, I look and there's no ring. She doesn't get in. She actually grabs some things from the car. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, they're parking. No, they're not. She's going and she's actually dropping off some trash. Then she gets back in the car really quickly, like she realized that I was waiting for her, but she's super nice. She leaves. They pull out. I've got to back up so that there's enough room. I got to look back and make sure that I don't hit the 2 ladies that just parked on the side of the road, and they were totally nice about it. I park my car on the side. I go in. There's 1 person waiting in line in 2 unisex bathrooms, and I kind of look down. I'm tired. I actually really don't even greet her. But as soon as I'm standing in line, there's a family of 4. The guy says, "Is this the line for the bathroom?" I said, "Yep." Kind of looks around, and you can see they all kind of need to go to the bathroom. Very quickly, there was a line of like 8 people for the bathroom. She goes into the one on the right. I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if she checked and see if the other unisex bathroom really is being used. And I'm like, wow, of course she would have. So I hear the automatic hand dryer, and that woman comes out first. I'm like, wow, that other guy must be really doing something in there. Go in the bathroom, realize the seat's down. I end up doing what I need to. I end up peeing, but I forgot to put the seat down, I remember, and make sure that it looked fine. I washed my hands and put the air dryer, and I realized, oh, that must be the signal. They must be realizing, they must be happy that I'm about to open the door. So I open the door and give the lady, she's about probably in her early 50s, dark hair, brunette, shoulder length, give her the nod like it's okay to go in. She says thank you. It's like, finally. I go in and I realize there's a line of about 10 people for coffee. I'm like, I can't do this. I walk out and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to Cracker Barrel. So I go to Cracker Barrel because I was really hungry and I needed to get something. I was just tired. Parked a little far, and I ended up walking over the grass and me realizing, man, this is really full grass. I wonder if, I'm like, I should mention this to Brooke. I'm like, I wonder what they use, because our grass is not that full. I walk in, I go around to the left by the register, and I bypass kind of go on the side, and I bypass an older gentleman with his left hand. He's got 2 to-go boxes stacked on each other, about to pay his bill. I walk into the stand, and it's an African-American lady, and I said, just party of one. And thin gentleman in 2 seconds greets me to the party of one, briefly mentions to the chalkboard to the left the specials, some chicken breast, but I'm not really paying attention because I want breakfast. Sits me down. I put my briefcase down, grab my GoPro network marketing book that I'm reading, got my keys, put my glasses off, look around, don't really notice much. Grab the menu about 20 seconds before the waitress comes. She's very nice, glasses, you know, I would say average build, white, and about maybe like in her mid-40s. Really nice. She said, are you ready, honey? I put everything in. I said, yep, I'm ready for everything. I'm like, all right, let me get a water with some lemon and coffee, and let me get and I pointed to the granola and the egg beaters and the turkey. At first I said turkey bacon, then I said, no, let me get turkey sausage. She says, okay, can I also get a side of wheat toast? Of course. Cream for your coffee? And I said yes, even though I don't know why I said yes, because I really wanted it black. She says, okay, I'll get that right in. So I'm kind of texting back and forth some people, but I wanted to go ahead and read my book, so I'm starting to read the book, and now I start, actually, before my food comes, I start scanning everybody that's around. And this is really where the exercise comes in. So I'm going to go over with you exactly what's going through my mind of everybody that I see. I don't notice everybody, but I notice the people, a certain amount of people. So first I see this lady on the left, and she's, you know, I would say maybe like in her mid-70s, and I see that she's done with her meal, and I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if she's a party of one. And then I see past that, older gentleman with a white beard, overweight wife, and he's enjoying everything, eating sausage and eggs, and she's like cutting it up for him, and it's like she's like his rock. To the right, a little bit closer to me, is a party of two, where the woman is kind of looking off to the side. Maybe she's eating, I can't tell because her back's to me, but the gentleman is facing me, and he's looking kind of like down to the left, like almost like, how did his life get this way? And he's like in his, I'd say, late 50s, and with a mustache, brunette. And then as I go around, I notice in the far corner, I notice like a table of 5, and they're all smiling and they're laughing and they're eating. And a little bit closer is a woman with 2 children, and there are 2 girls that are about 5 years old, 6 years old, and then moving a little bit closer is a young table of 4, and all they've been doing is laughing, like hysterically the whole time. Like you almost want to know what's going on in that table. A little bit closer is a party of 4. You know, husband and wife, and then two older kids, and that's like a normal table. The only other table that I noticed is actually the one that's right to the right of me, and they haven't said a word. They actually didn't say a word the whole time. I could see him, and he was on his cell phone the whole time. Actually, the only table in the whole room that had their cell phones out. And I couldn't tell whether she was twiddling her fingers, like wondering if he was ever going to talk to her. Then I looked down, and she's on her cell phone also. It turns out that she was on her cell phone the whole time, which was interesting. So first, then she brings out my food. She brings out my water, sorry. And she brings out the coffee cup, and then she goes, I forgot the coffee mugs. And I said, don't worry about it. Grab my book again, and I'm deep into chapter 2. She brings the coffee, and then I open up and put the creamer in, and I don't know why, because I drink my coffee black, but she brought it, so I used it. And then this runner comes over, smiling, and she goes, here you go, babe, and gives me the egg beaters and my granola, and she says, I'll be right back with the toast. Smiling, I looked up for 1 second. I could see that she was smiling, and that she had a canine tooth. They were kind of like jigger-jaggered, and she was in her I'd say early 20s, dark hair, but really smiling, very nice. And I remember she said, babe, and I'm like, I kept thinking to myself, I wonder if she says, you know, here you go, babe. Like, does she say that to everybody? Did she say it to me because I was by myself? Would she say that if I was with Brooke? I mean, these are the things that are going through my mind. So I get my book again, and a second later, she's got my whole wheat toast, and again, smiling, there you go, babe. And I grab it, and I'm eating, and as I'm eating, I overhear to the left, easy to hear because to the right is the couple with the cell phones, and they don't they're still not talking to each other. And to the left is I overhear them, my waitress, and then the younger waitress that ended up running out my food. She said, yeah, I had a table of 8. Guy was there for 2 hours and didn't leave me any tip. And she goes, it's just not my day. And I remember thinking, like, instinctively, there was a reason for me to hear that. All these things had to happen at that moment in time for me to hear that, because I wasn't supposed to be there. I was supposed to be at Starbucks. I was supposed to be, and everything kind of added up. And then I actually started tearing up. I had just gotten my bill, and I really don't know why I was tearing up. I was almost like, I'm not that good of a person to tear up. Like, I should be, like, this is like fake. Like, why am I tearing up? And I just think it's not right. And I remember thinking that, and thinking, what was I gonna do? And I wanted to, like, kind of like go up to her and give her money in my pocket, and I was just thinking about things. So I was done eating, and I'm grabbing my things, and she kind of passes by, and again, she's not even my waitress, just the runner, and she says, have a great day. And I said, God, I'm like, if I had been kind of screwed like that, it's amazing how many people let that ruin their day, and you wouldn't even know that happened to her. So I walk up to the podium, the hostess stand, and I said, it was really weird because I couldn't, like, get the words out. I was, like, trying to say what I wanted to say, and I said, what is I said, there's a not my waitress, but another, and I was, like, talking all jumbled. The girl who ran out my food, I overheard her saying that there was a party of 8 and this gentleman didn't leave her a tip, and I want to give her something, and this other, the manager came over and said, oh, that's so nice. And I remember also thinking that I used to do that just for, like, to tell people that I was doing that, like paying it forward, and now it's like I feel like I'm obligated to do stuff like that because there's a reason why those things kind of come in front of, happen to me, or happen to anybody. And I think that if I didn't do anything, I'd feel pain, and so I want to avoid pain, and so I want to do right by this person. And so I looked at the bill, and my bill was $10.76. So I said, I'm gonna pay my bill, and then I'm gonna give something to the waitresses. And so I paid the bill, and I came back, and I said, I'd like to get, and then I overheard, I go, I said, were you the one with the table of 8 that didn't, the party of 8 that didn't get a tip? I said, I want to give you something for him, a little paid forward, just to make it right. And she goes, you do not have to do that. She goes, I did not mean for you, I'm so sorry that you had to hear that. And I said, no, I said, I was meant to hear that. And so I handed her $20, and I also gave my own waitress $20, and walked out. And as I was walking out, I noticed to the right that there was those rocking chairs, and 2 people were in those rocking chairs, and it was like I didn't feel good. I just felt relieved and more just disappointed. And I'm like, okay, this is, the point of me doing all that and having a message was for me to kind of tell this to you guys. So I think that if you notice, there's 2 messages there. Number 1, I think that everything happens for a reason, and I think that we always have if you've got a chance to pay it forward, it will come back to you tenfold. And then the other thing is, if you want to be a good storyteller, you've got to take it from, I would be writing this the same way that I'm saying this. So you got to really put emotion and thought into creating the scene, and throwing just enough emotion into it, and just enough, like, subliminal messaging that it really, the person who's reading it and the person that's listening to it really feels like they're there. And I think that's one thing, and you've got to practice that. You got to practice knowing certain things about the scene that'll allow you to remember certain things. So that would be my one little tip. And there's other things that I remembered in that scene, but that's an amazing part that I've learned to do, and I practice anywhere from going to a gas station to a restaurant, and then I'll write it down. How am I creating the scene? And it strengthens your memory. So I hope that helped, guys.